live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn. Dead Alive.
Also known as Brain Dead, which I think is a better title.
I think Brain Dead is a much better title.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, Brain Dead. So
the description is pretty bad on IMDb.
Is it? Okay, we'll go for it.
A young man's mother is bitten by a Sumatran rat monkey. She gets sick and dies. At which time she comes back to life, killing and eating dogs, nurses, friends, and neighbors. Peter Jackson directed this.
So much worse than that.
I'm going to ask, I think I've asked this before.
Yes?
Did Peter Jackson do drugs? Because it's very clear that somebody did drugs.
I have to tell you, that one thing I did notice is that, now I don't know about, I haven't seen any of the Lord of the Rings stuff. Okay. But I can tell you that on this one, in fact, it kind of reminded me of his earlier, of the earlier one that we saw.
Bad Taste or whatever it was
Bad
called.
Taste, Meet the Feebles. Okay.
Yeah.
He had a lot of the same camera movements that had been infinitely, you know that thing about style that Garcia says about style, that style is the thing that you do wrong again and again and again until it becomes right. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening here is it became a style in this one. His close-ups, like he is always moving in really fast on the close-ups, and that being his dialogue piece, or he's moving up, So when you're going back and forth, there's like stab, 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 stab. It's kind of weird. But the thing is it works with his style because a lot of times something's happening to somebody as the camera comes into them, their face is exploding, there's snot, being, and this is a case of, oh my God.
Yes.
There was, oh my God, everywhere.
This reminded me of, you're going to love this. Mother. No, okay, so let me explain what I mean.
Yeah, please.
I don't mean like as a movie, like.
But you mean that last scene?
I mean kind of like how it built up and then just got crazy and then got crazier and then got crazier. Then it's like crazy. It's like, I mean, it's the craziest thing. I don't know how it got to that level of crazy.
It had so many great gags in it.
It was like gag after gag after gag after gag.
And
some of the gags they used in earlier movies.
I want to know who played the intestines, because
the intestines was awesome.
Who did the intestines on that scene? Oh man, the best.
Yeah, the mom
best.
puppet though at the end.
Oh yeah.
That was like Monty Python, really.
Yeah, it was. It was totally a Monty Python. But the intestines chasing the guy inside of the attic. Oh my God, that was hilarious. And just
I think one of my favorites is when they grabbed the lady and threw her against the light, and it was lighting up the room.
Oh, that's right.
And she was still there trying to grab somebody.
Did you see did you catch the one where the intestine was looking at itself in the mirror?
Yeah.
It was like, he's like, ooh, hey.
I like the when it passed gas.
Oh yeah, that was the best. That was absolutely awesome.
So I felt like I was watching Mr. Bean, but he was in a David Lynch movie.
You're right. The character
Monty Python was there too.
Yeah,
like the group of Monty Python.
You're right. Absolutely. There was something about it.
It was kind of a bad soap opera too. Like there was the scenes with the mother and the son for sure. It was
and the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend.
The forbidden love.
Didn't you know that the lawnmower was going to come up later on from that very first shot?
Yeah. Well, wasn't he trying to fix it because it wasn't working right or something?
No. It's just that we were underneath the.
No, I'm talking about at the beginning where he was mowing the lawn, and I think he was trying to fix it when the girl came up behind him and scared him, surprised him.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
So I think he was trying to fix the lawnmower, so I was worried when he brought it back out again. I'm like, uh-oh,
right.
Does it work now?
Yeah, what was he going to use that for? Man, I also love the stop motion of the rat. The rat monkey.
Yeah. Oh,
that was great. And by the way, that was Richard Taylor and Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Those two did the stop motion themselves.
Well, wasn't who's the guy that did most of the creature effects? Was that the same guy?
Richard Taylor. Yeah.
So he did Lord of the Rings later, right?
Yeah.
So so they work together a lot.
Yeah, oh yeah. No. He's Richard Taylor is what's the name of their effects company? I kick ass for the Lord. I loved The Preacher. The Preacher was insane. It's great.
Weta.
Weta, right? Yeah. What was great with The Preacher was that you thought to yourself, Peter Jackson wanted to throw it all in, right? so he wanted to throw in the little kung fu movie bit too. It's like, oh, that was amazing, so cool.
So. The David Lynch for me was the baby coming out of the radio.
Yeah.
Like that was so bizarre.
That didn't make any sense at all. The baby. Yeah.
The baby was awesome though. That was probably one of my favorite characters. I mean, just because it was running around.
Did you catch the thing in the morgue where they're working on the body and the sandwich is sitting on her. The guy's sandwich is sitting on her stomach.
I missed
he keeps picking up and biting into it and putting it back down.
I guess that didn't make an impression on me. So I wrote down, what the heck is wrong with Peter Jackson?
I thought the eating scene was amazing when the ear, but the in his soup, custard.
I think there's one character I wasn't too crazy about he reminded me of John Candy, the big guy that had the
uncle.
Yeah, the uncle.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know. I thought they could have done better there.
You know what? I put this and I stand by it, that there was an element of Charlie Chaplin and Jerry Lewis in parts of it.
Well, that's what I was thinking, like Mr. Bean or
right. Especially the outside, especially the outdoor stuff in the park.
Yeah,
that really reminded me of.
Well, he made a lot of stupid faces too. Like he was really good at making dumb faces.
Right. The main character. Yeah, the main character. That reminded me of a Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
And the way that it was choreographed was very Charlie Chaplin. And what the hell was the uncle smoking? What was that thing that glass kind of?
Some weird pipe, I think.
It was a weird pipe or some kind of oddball inhaler or something. Hey, what the hell are you smoking? By the way, that whole look of those houses and stuff, that San Francisco kind of not turn of the century, but mid-century,
right?
Or mid-20s or 30s look that's very, very, very Wellington.
Wellington, yeah.
Very, very Wellington. And and I'm curious. You might look this up. Is there still a trolley in Wellington?
Actually, one thing about the trolley is that
because I
was amazed by how they look, because they almost look like they look really fake at one point.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
where you're going with that?
I wanted to know if I got a feeling that some of it wasn't. So, hey, listen, I want to point out something that I call it the headstone problem. When you have somebody die in a film, well, no, it's the classic problem. Here's the thing. When you die, they order your headstone. And then that headstone takes about 8 weeks.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I never go with that, yeah.
And here's the thing. Because this comes up in films all the time, is people are being buried and there's the headstone there, right? I just want to point out that you can only make a fake headstone in the time it takes to bury somebody after they die.
Well, I have family members that have purchased headstones ahead of time.
Right.
And all they do is chisel in the date. And it's like in 2 days it's done. It's weird. I have some family members that actually purchase headstones in advance.
Really?
And had their name. Well, like if their spouse died before they did, the headstone would be done.
Right.
Because it was both of them. And then it would just have the date he was born.
So you're saying
chisel in later.
So you're saying that everybody in a movie
Not everybody in a movie. No, but I'm saying there are people that buy headstones in advance,
I understand
and they get their
that.
name chiseled on it, which is weird.
But it's really common in a movie to have a headstone right there.
Oh, in fact, I want to do this when I get to where I know I'm going to die, and I'm like 90 years old.
Yeah.
I'm going to die soon. I'm going to put like I'm going to hire one of those big lights that will rotate, like a Hollywood light, where big,
right, yeah,
special event here, and then I'm gonna have right. Exactly.
I'm gonna have
a velvet rope around my this empty grave with my coffin. And I'm gonna say coming soon. I don't know. I just think it'd be fun, and then I'll run ads like in the paper and stuff, like soon, coming soon to a cemetery near you. I don't know. I'm weird.
I just want a whole bunch of. I just want a whole bunch of evil clowns.
Wouldn't that be great though, to walk through a cemetery and see like a coming soon and me, like a picture of me, like my thumbs up and an empty hole in the ground?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah. Oh boy, your mother ate my dog. Cranial blowout. Oh no, that's a cranial blowout. That's a big problem, I guess.
I had issues with, I guess it made me feel really uncomfortable to watch a man go back into the mother's womb.
Yes, that was disturbing. That
was the only uncomfortable thing for me, was that, well,
that was it.
There was a lot of weird shit.
That's where you draw the line.
That was the one that kind of made me feel really weird, like queasy, like, oh, he's going into the womb.
That's where you draw the line.
And then when he was coming back out, anyway.
Literally, they had just built this. They had just finished.
I love the bodies where the body parts are flying.
Oh yeah,
I think that's where the scene where covered in blood and there are body parts everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, the lawnmower. Oh man. But the thing is when I got to New Zealand, this is only a year old, and I was working with all the people that worked on it, right? And
was this when you were in Hercules?
Yeah, on Hercules, and they talked about how they had to shut filming down and replace all the floors because so much. They'd done it on the cheap, so they used particle board for the floors, and the particle board got so soaked with blood that people were just falling through the floors all the time. That they were just boom, 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 and they finally decided, just for safety, that they just had to stop and pull up the floors and replace them, which is just greatest.
Wow, it takes a lot of fake blood to.
That's a lot of fake blood, boy.
Yeah, that one scene was just ridiculously crazy.
It was great. It was absolutely great.
And the visual of, like, if there was a wide shot with, like, where he was getting all of them.
Yeah, right.
And you see just feet flying up, hands, just random things. But my favorite part was when he mowed through the crowd. And then he turned around.
He turns around and
there was a lane.
There's a lane right through the crowd. Right. Well, let's see.
So I think this was so much better than Bad Taste.
It was
or Meet
so
the
much better. But like I say, here's the thing: it had a lot of that same dynamic. It had a lot of the same shots, but
it was done better.
The dynamic of them, was better worked out.
Well, it was better, but probably because of technology, I would imagine. And maybe they had a little bit more money for this one.
Yeah, but I mean the smoothness of the shot. The thing is let's face it, on that one, on what was it called? The
Bad Taste.
Bad Taste. On Bad Taste, literally, he didn't even know which side of the 180 line he was supposed to be on because the camera just seemed to be jumping around all the time. There was no smoothness in between shots. It was just, it was a bizarre combination of shots to make a film. But then we hit this one, and it's a very stylized way of making a film, and you could tell what shots that he liked, but he had carried some of the shots that were in Bad Taste, some of the interesting shots that were not well done there, and he had refined them so that they came together to make
gags too.
He had a sense of style at that point. Yeah.
Well, it still kind of confuses me how he went from this to Lord of the Rings and like the stuff he's doing now.
Yeah.
It's how do you make that transition. It just blows my mind. I don't know.
Well,
I wish I could talk to him and ask him that question.
Well, I think the next thing he did was The Frighteners.
Right.
That. So
why didn't he stick with like horror movies? And it just seems weird to me. I don't know what he's done recently. I haven't been paying attention for the last few years what he's done, but
I cannot tell you the decision making. I will tell you one thing about Lord of the Rings though that nobody knows. The one of my friends and I can't really, I'm not going to say who she was, but she was like the New Line Cinema's main sort of guardian executive producer on The Lord of the Rings. And she came up when we were on Blade. And she came to visit us, visit me in my office, like 11 o'clock at night. You know, we could never get away from that. And she comes by and she's sitting down across from me. We're bullshitting back and forth, and you know, because I kept up with her for a long time, and we'd been friends for ages. And she goes, you know, literally, this job is killing me. And I said, oh, you mean, yeah, like this job is killing me.
Right.
And she goes, no, I mean, I have cancer, and I need to be back in chemotherapy, but I can't let go. I can't let go of this film, and I'm going to have to go back down there, and it's going to kill me. And she was dead within a year.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, she was a good friend. I'm not gonna say her name, but yeah, it was just really sad. And the thing is I can, you know what? You can say that that's an incredibly stupid thing to do, and it actually is. But if you're single and this is the peak of your life, and you know that if you walk away from that, you're never gonna be involved in the business again, and who knows, maybe the cancer will go away, right?
Yeah.
Well, but it didn't. So anyway, wow, that was a downer. I didn't mean to bring things down. So
I want to talk to you about a little bit about his. See, I find him fascinating as a director because, like, we're talking about Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, Dead Alive, Heavenly Creatures, which is bizarre to have right before The Frighteners.
It is. No,
and then you have the Lord of the Rings bunch of stuff there. And then you have King Kong. And then more Hobbit stuff. Yeah. But it's like Lovely Bones is one that sticks out in my mind. It's like, it's interesting how he made decisions to do different things. Like Lovely Bones is kind of out of the ordinary.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very odd melodramatic-ish kind of film, yeah.
But I don't know, just how he's kind of evolving is amazing to me.
Why did he do a short?
I don't know.
2008.
King Kong 360 in 2010. That was
I don't know. I got to tell you one thing though is he was the ultimate film nerd.
Yeah.
I mean, he really was. I mean, he was totally like, you know, one of the guys.
Well, you can tell he's one of those guys that just, I mean, that's probably where Bad Taste came out. It was like a group of his buddies.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, and him talking about doing King Kong, he had talked about it forever. I mean, you know, even when I knew him, he talked about it. So,
but yeah, so yeah. I'm a fan of his. I'm not a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings stuff, which is probably gonna irritate some people. But
yeah, doesn't bother me.
But yeah, no. Mortal Engines is what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to Mortal Engines. Yeah, to me, Mortal Engines already looks a little bit
almost like he's going back to the
CGI-ish.
Yeah,
to tell you the truth.
I just want to see somebody's head come off in this one too.
Well, there you go. I'm trying to decide whether to read Mortal Engines before I see the movie. Yeah. I don't know. You know, my wife is like, "Oh, it can't be the same as a book," and I go, "Yeah, because a book is not a movie." You know, I just introduced a friend of mine who is a writer to a day of filming. You know, and he was like, "Oh wow, now I can see how this just becomes a totally different thing."
Yeah,
I said, "Yeah, it's like every shot that you write starts at a certain point and then gets refined as you go along. It's even refined from the first take to the last take, so there's just no way that you can draw a comparison between a book and or between what is written and what is filmed. It ain't never gonna happen.
Yep.
So,
and if it did, it would be like how many days long would a movie be if it was literal
translation? Right, yeah, and would it be interesting? I don't know. Brevity is the soul of discretion. Hey, I just made that up. Yeah,
that was interesting.
I did right there. It was interesting. Okay, so what'd you think?
Oh, what would I rate it?
Yeah.
Oh,
you remember we're talking about Dead Alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Brain Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta say I really enjoyed watching it. So it's like I don't think it's like a award-winning movie, but I really enjoyed it. I love some of the effects, the creature effects.
Yeah.
How gory it was. The whole thing was just full of gore. So I would start off like the first half. I would give it probably 2.5. But when stuff started happening,
yeah,
it bumps up to like a 3.5. I would say 3.5 easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. You know what? I just thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't want to give something that I thoroughly enjoyed anything less than a 3.5, and I'm going to have to agree with you because that's where I was. Yeah, 3.5. I loved it. I mean, I think
he should do another movie like this. Why not?
Yeah.
Go back and do another bizarre movie with puppets and.
I don't know. For some reason, just as you said that, all I could see was the intestines chasing that guy across the attic of the house. So it's just so weird.
Well, I kept thinking of David Lynch in certain parts because I've watched a lot of David Lynch stuff, I guess.
Yeah,
but
well,
like in Twin Peaks, or
he kind of reminded me of Peter Jackson.
Yeah,
but
having like a a disembodied voice coming from the furnace or something, or like a little tiny person that's. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
David Lynch is another thing.
Yeah.
Eraserhead, that's one of my favorites.
Exactly. Yeah. The thing is that I think it has a lot in common with more of the like gore fest kind of super low budget, just throwing buckets of blood around.
Yeah, like the trauma films.
Yeah, trauma. Trauma. Exactly.
Or Ginger Dead Man.
Ginger Dead. Even that didn't have that much gore.
No, not really.
No, you know what? I doubt that Charlie Band would spend that much money on blood. Now, you have a $25 blood budget, whatever you want. As long as it costs $25, it's whatever you want.
Well, you can improvise, right?
Well, yeah.
If the lighting's right.
Yeah. You
can use something else.
Yeah, try. Yeah, somebody was telling me about blood, that they were using blood on the shot, and I found out that you can put baby oil in the blood, and it'll actually come off of your hands, and they charge $40 a pint for that kind of blood when you buy it. And I was like, okay. The thing that amazes me is that there are premixed bloods that you can buy now.
Yeah.
There were
companies
a couple.
that sell those.
Well, there were a couple when we were.
I'd love to have one sponsor our podcast.
Why not? I mean, there's hundreds of them. By the way, coincidentally, if anybody out there wants to sponsor us, we are 100% for it.
Yes.
Yeah, we could use a good sponsor, I tell you.
We would talk the heck out of you guys.
We would.
Yes.
Yeah, anytime.
So,
come on down.
We'd like to. The show is brought to you by Tainted Blood. Or, I don't know. Maybe that's not a good.
That's a movie I did, by the way.
Actually, yeah, that's right.
Tainted Blood, yeah.
Well, okay, anyway.
Okay, I think we're done.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.